Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura's Handmade Haven. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. We're in the guest room, which is not typical, right? But I have a product review for you today, and it's from the Cololeaf Custom Made Curtain Company. And I was contacted by them and they asked me if they could send me some curtains. And I was like, of course, yeah, that'd be awesome. So they sent me two blackout curtains for that I'm going to be using in my guest room. And they also sent me this sample like swatch booklet that I just want to flip through some of these colors for you. So this is the Frank linen line. It's a blackout linen fabric. And they really, well, we'll see. We'll put them up on the window and see what happens. But there's a lot of different colors. There's like a taupe color. And then you also, as you flip through the swatches, you also see that, and you can see from the side, there's different colors, right? But there's like some blues here, and you can really kind of see what the color actually is on the back a little more than the front. So if you're trying to match it to a certain room decor item or something like that, then you may want to kind of look at the back of the fabric to kind of see also if it blends in. But here's the front. So I'm just making sure I have some really good lighting here. It's a little bit more difficult in the guest room because, well, you know, it doesn't need to be super bright here. So, but yeah, so there's lots of different colors. I did not count how many swatches were in here. I don't think it tells me anywhere, but I would say there's a good 20 different colors of curtains that you can get. And of course they have lots of neutrals because, I mean, you know, we all like neutrals, right? So I measured these and I sent them the measurements when they contacted me, but they are still in the bag. I have not taken them out. So this is going to be kind of a do as we go thing. And I'm just going to take them out of here and I'm going to take my valance down and get rid of it completely and then put these up. Now, I don't believe, I'm trying to remember if I ordered tiebacks, and I don't think I did. I think I just got the curtains. Let's see, make sure. Yeah. I will say that these are really heavy duty. My first impression of the fabric, it's really nice fabric. It's really heavy fabric, which makes sense because it's the blackout fabric, right? So here's the back of the curtain and the front. Now I will tell you at the top of these, I love this. So you can either use the sewn pocket and run your rod through that. And that's going to give you kind of that, you know, that normal traditional scrunchy top like this, right? Or you can use the tabs on the back, and that's what I'm gonna do. And that just gives you a little more cleaner of a hang on your window. So I'm gonna put these up, take the valance down, put these up, and we'll see what we think. I'm also gonna open the blind after I have the curtains up. My neighbors don't need to watch me climb on a chair. So, and that way we can see if they really are a blackout curtain. Now it is kind of cloudy outside today, but not like, you know, to the point where I feel like it's not going to work. I did have a double curtain in here at one point, but that is no more. And this is actually a valance I made. Love this fabric. I got this fabric on clearance, I think, way back in the day at maybe Hobby Lobby. I don't know. Here, let me get the rod out of the valance. Oh my goodness. All right. So like I said, I'm going to use the tabs on the back of these curtains and just run them through. This is, you know, obviously easy peasy. And this is just a normal curtain rod. Now they do have other curtains, which they asked me about as well. I just wanted to show you the back of this rod so you can see what I mean when I'm running it through these tabs on the back rather than using the pocket. Anyway, they have other curtains that are actually drapery curtains. And so you have to have like the drapery hooks. And a, you know, kind of a heavier duty rod, right? And I didn't want to have to change the rod that I have up. So I opted to go with this line instead. They have a lot of different types of curtains on their website. They also have blinds. So I'll put a link in the description box down below and you can go check those out. All right, so now we're gonna put these up. They're really pretty. I like them. They hang really well too. I think I might take my steamer to them just to get some of those wrinkles out, but they're not too bad really. All right, so let's just open the blind so you can see bright light. And like I said, these are blackout curtains, so yeah. In fact, let's dim the light in here so we can really see. Now, the only light that you're seeing coming in there is where the curtains meet in the middle. And obviously, with a little adjusting, I can fix that as well. So like I said, I didn't order the tie backs to go with these, but I don't want to put my valance back up there either. So I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is using my valance to make some tie backs for this. And then I'll use some hooks on the walls to tie them back. So we're going to go to the craft room and we're going to make some tie backs real quick with our valance. There really isn't a standard size for curtain tie backs. What I've done is I went and measured the tie backs in my bedroom. And then I also kind of measured around the curtains to see where I wanted it. And I am going to have my tie backs be 30 inches. And that's my cut measurement. So they'll finish at about 28-ish probably. And the reason is because I want to make sure I can go back to the wall and with my, for my hook. And I also want to be sure that it lets the curtain drape enough because they are thicker curtains because it is that blackout fabric. So I have plenty of fabric here and I want my curtain tie backs to be about 4 inches wide. So I'm going to cut them at, I'm going to cut the fabric at like 4.5 inches wide. It's kind of funny. This fabric remnant has been several different things in its lifetime. It was a tablecloth at one point. It was a dresser scarf at one point. I just really like the fabric a lot. And now it's going to be curtain tie backs. Do you do that? Do you have things around that you're like, well, I don't need that anymore, so maybe I should do this instead? The good thing is I have 2 that finished ends, but that's kind of nice. Then I'm just going to fold this in half. And since these ends are finished, I'm going to go ahead and just measure. That was almost spot on. So the only thing that these are going to require is just a couple seams and a couple buttonholes. So I am going to take these over to the sewing machine and sew them up, and then we will get them around the curtains. Now, if you wanted to, and I may actually do this, we could put a little interfacing in here just to give them a little structure. In fact, yeah, I'm going to do that. Now, unfortunately, interfacing is 20 inches wide. So we will need to cut this lengthways on the bolt. I don't have a 30-inch mat, so I'm just folding it in half to the 15. All right, so we are just going to go over to the sewing machine, run a seam around, well, down one end, down this long edge, and then we'll flip the whole thing out, and then we will sew the other end, put a couple buttonholes, and we'll have some curtain tie backs. I gotta say, one of the things that I love about home decor sewing, sometimes, not always, but in this case, is it is much more forgiving than intricate quilt patterns. Obviously, you still want to try to sew a straight seam and you want to try to be precise with your measurements and such, but it's not quite as finicky as our quilting world is. So that's, you know, it's nice. It's nice to have a little break from that. Now, my interfacing is a little narrower than my fabric, and that's by design. So now this fabric is also a little slick, but I'm gonna try to not pin it because, well, you know, that's who I am. I am gonna go ahead though. Let's see, where did I do, how did I do that? Yeah, I'm just going to start here. But I don't want that interfacing to move once I'm once I flip it out. Just keeping my edges together, moving my interfacing up just a bit, because I don't want as much of it in the seam as the fabric. Now I am going to go ahead and turn this corner just a little. That way it'll be easier when I go to flip it, that it will give me a nice point there. If you've seen me use the Turn It All tool, they would actually work pretty good for this, believe it or not, but it's a little big. But if you have little tubes, the Turn It All tool would be where it's at, man. All right, I'm going to shake this on out, and then I'm going to take my scissors, run them down, and I'm actually going to scrunch the fabric back. To poke out these other corners. So basically I want to make one of these and show you what it looks like, and then I'll get the other one done. And then we'll put them on the curtains. I like the curtains. I'm very happy with that. All right. I'm going to be happy with these too. All right, and remember I did turn that corner just a little bit, so I have a nice edge here that I can grab. And I'm just going to line these edges up and run a stitch right there. And I'm going to go ahead and do a top stitch all the way around it. I'm just kind of taking my nail and pulling out that seam as I go. Okay, so this is our curtain tie back, except we still need buttonholes. And I am going to put the buttonholes close to the top edge of my curtain tie back. And that way, when I put it on the curtain, it will, you know, hang well. Now, my Juki does have a buttonhole attachment that I'm going to use. I don't remember if it puts the buttonhole, if it goes backwards or forwards. So let me try that real quick and see. Yeah, it goes backwards. Okay, that's how I remember. So to use the buttonhole attachment, you just line up this edge of the fabric on this little lip here. Make sure it's pushed all the way back, and then line it up where you want it to be on your fabric. And then you just press your foot pedal and it does the rest for you. Now I have a button back here that's a certain size, and that's the size of buttonhole it's going to make. There really wasn't any rhyme or reason on why I chose that button. It was just like, well, that's about the right size of button that I would need to make the buttonhole. All right, so there's one buttonhole done. And now we'll flip this around. And again, just lining up the top side of the curtain tie back with where I want that buttonhole to begin. Lowering my presser foot and just sewing. This really comes in handy, especially if you're doing a lot of garment making or other things that need buttonholes. I really do like this buttonhole attachment. Takes the guesswork out of it. All right. So I will just clip those seams and then we will have our first tie back done. And then if you haven't done buttonholes before, which I'm sure most of you have, just put your seam ripper in here and you can either just get it started or you can run the whole length with it. Now, if you have a fabric that is going to get a lot of wear, you may consider putting a little fray check on that, and that way you won't get any unraveling in the middle of this. All right, so I'm gonna get the other tie back done, and then we will put them on our curtain and have a reveal. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do is just put up our tie backs, and I have a couple of these little hooks. I have one installed already. I basically just measured up from the same point from the bottom of the window facing up to the wall, and I'm just going to screw this in. I did make a little pilot hole with a nail, and I honestly just pushed the nail into the drywall. These hooks they're not that long, and they're pretty easy. I mean, I have like a little screw thing on them, so. All right, I'm just going to kind of angle that out just a little bit. And now we're going to just simply grab our tie back, put it behind the curtain, and then wrap it to the front and put it on our hook. And that is all there is to it. I really do like this. It frames the window, and so when I put the blind down, it's going to look really cool. Straighten my curtains a little bit. But then when we have guests, they can simply just unhook the front of the tie backs, leave the back there, and that will come down and be room darkening. So it'll be very peaceful and dark to sleep in here. It will also help keep light out of my bedroom, which is across the hall, because that was one of my little complaints lately, is just that there's, too much light coming in our room, and it's because of these Venetian blinds. They're just not keeping the light out the way they could. So all right, so overall, I'm really pleased with these curtains. I'm very happy with the color. I think the color looks good in here, and I think that they look nice. I mean, they look really good. I may try them through the pocket. I don't know, but I kind of like the tabs the way they are right now. I'm happy with the length. I did measure that, and I'm really happy with the weight of the fabric. It's really nice. It's a good weighted fabric, and it's not like super heavy, but it definitely has some weight to it, has some depth to it or whatever, and definitely will block the light when they're closed. So that's great for a blackout curtain, right? Yeah, so check out the link in the description box down below. Check out their website, see if you see any curtains that you have to have, and maybe you can redo one of your spaces as well. So until next time, find joy in all you do, carve out some time for crafting and creating, and remember, it's always better when you make stuff up.